You've been looking at health from the wrong perspective your entire life. Don't worry, because I was too. But look, I'm here to tell you why and show you the true cause of dis-ease within your body. So we've all been taught our entire lives to look at health from a very germ basis. A bunch of entities and viruses and bacteria constantly attacking us at all times, and our body is constantly on defense. And when we're dealing with any type of sickness and we go to the doctor, they provide us a treatment for the issue that we're dealing with. Like, that is kind of the basis of how we have been taught to look at health. You know, not feeling well, go see a doctor, get some medicine, and the cycle continues over and over and over. But here today in this conversation, we are going to get into what the true cause of sickness and diseases within the body. When we're talking about germ theory, the theory that all these entities are attacking us at all times, there truly is no basis for it. And the problem with it is that it takes all of the accountability away from ourselves. So when we're dealing with anything or we've been diagnosed with anything, the accountability is gone. Right? And in essence, the power is gone. And we're dependent upon the systems that have been put into place. The healthcare system, pharmaceutical systems that have been put in place. And in some cases, the insurance system that has been put in place, right? All the power removed from us because ultimately it's nothing we can do about it. The 2Gs are in effect. It's either germs that are causing this, bacteria, viruses, things of that nature, or genetics, right? Oh, well, our family has dealt with it for years down the line, and there's really nothing I can do. But I'm here to tell you that yes, you can. I'm here to show you and tell you how you get your power back. And that is understanding that everything that happens to the body is a manifestation from within you. These are things that have been caused by your actions, by your lifestyle. Now, at first, that might sound to you like, well, damn, that doesn't sound good. I don't want to be accountable for it. But with the accountability comes the power. And with that power, what that means is you have the power to reverse all of it, to change all of it. And I'm talking everything, okay? Is it easy? Of course not. But understanding it and breaking that conditioning of thinking, wow, how it's not, how you're not accountable is the first step. And it's a very enlightening experience to understand that you actually have the power to heal yourself. Think about, what you're dealing with or the diagnosis that you received and understanding that, wow, I actually have the power to heal this myself by my actions, by changes in my lifestyle. That is enlightening as anything I could ever think of. Let's break down these two things, germs and genetics. Let's start with germs, all right? All of these entities. And I'm not here saying bacteria doesn't exist. Of course, bacteria exists, right? And viruses is another conversation, but it's ultimately a culmination. It's in the same family, quote unquote, family as bacteria in a way. But we've been kind of taught that there's this thing called bad bacteria, right? But at the end of the day, bacteria is bacteria. And what causes it to be good or bad or to act in different ways is the environment that it's been put in. Because bacteria they're ultimately the cleaners of life. Without bacteria, life would not exist on this planet. So think of every single time you've had a bacterial infection. The mindset that we've been conditioned with would tell us that, okay, well then there must have been some type of bad bacteria I was exposed to and that caused an infection. But the truth is that your body, your terrain was unclean. Your terrain was dealing with an overabundance of toxicity, and the bacteria was there to clean it up. And in essence, it manifests what the medical system would call an infection. Bacteria is pleomorphic, meaning it adapts to its environment. So if the environment is clean, they would call it good bacteria. But if the environment is dirty, unclean, toxic, then they would consider it bad bacteria. In essence, bacteria does not cause you to get sick, right? What causes you to get sick is having an internal environment that is overly toxic, overly acidic, as you guys hear me talk about all the time, right? I say it all the time that the medical industry, the medical systems that have been put in place, look at health from a very reactive perspective, meaning you deal with a sickness, you're dealing with some type of pain, you're dealing with some type of issue, you go to the doctor, you tell them the symptoms, and they react by giving you something to make you feel better currently. Not really curing anything, but mostly helping you get through that current moment. My thing is that when you do that, there's two issues. Number one, the treatment itself, it's a short-term fix. It's not really fixing the problem, it's just treating the problem. And then number two, in most cases, you're suppressing the body from doing what it was built to do. The body is a self-healing organism. We are self-healing. You are self-healing. When you cut yourself, what happens? Your body heals the wound. Your body has an intelligence that we haven't even begun to tap into. But it's amazing. Your autonomic nervous system does things without you even knowing. Like, you don't tell your body to digest food. It just does it. You don't tell your body to heal itself. It just does it. And it's amazing because your body has one job and it operates under one law. That is to help you survive. That is it. It wants to get you to a state of balance, homeostasis. So the idea of a cold or a stuffy nose or a sore throat or a fever being a bad thing has been embedded into our brains since we were born. So that's how we look at it. That's how we operate, and we kind of fall within that system. But the truth is, everything your body does is for a reason. It's either it trying to heal itself and cleaning itself, or it's a manifestation of, a lifetime of bad habits, right? So both of the, but in essence, both of these are your body's reaction to what's going on currently. And when you're taking these treatments and medicine, and I'm not here trying to tell you not to take your medicine. I'm literally sharing philosophies and helping you understand what's going on within the body. But when you take something to stop one of these manifestations from taking place, stopping your body from releasing mucus, right? Stopping your body from coughing, right? Stopping inflammation, you are suppressing the issue. And I'll get to inflammation in a second. But for instance, if you get a cold, right? I'll break this down for everybody, for you specifically. If you get a cold, or you're dealing with cold-like symptoms, right? Maybe your nose is just, it's running so much you want to stop it. So you go to CVS and you buy yourself some, Mucinex or, one of those things, right? One of those, some type of cold medicine, right? You stop your body from going through the process of eliminating that mucus. Your body made that decision to get rid of the mucus for the betterment of you, but you're stopping it from doing it. So guess what happens? That mucus continues to build up and build up and build up. And then something like a cold turns into bronchitis or turns into pneumonia, right? It goes into a more subacute type of dis-ease within the body, right? There's acute, which are things that happen once in a while, to subacute. Okay, it's now to a next level, to chronic, to where now we're dealing with some bigger issues. But the more we suppress and not get to the underlying cause and the underlying reason, the more we end up in a bad spot because we're stopping the body from doing what it does. That is the perspective we should be looking at sickness and disease with. And then we get to genetics. We've been told that genetics causes us to deal with some of these things. Like cancer runs in my family, diabetes runs in my family, right? I'm sure, you've been told that, a number of different things run in your family. And that is true, meaning that we're all born with certain dispositions. Like some of us are born with a bad heart. You might have been born with a bad pancreas. You might have been born with bad kidneys, or, kidneys that are weak, or, weak adrenal glands, or whatever the case may be, a weak thyroid. But that doesn't mean you have to express that weakness. Our bodies are self-healing. Our bodies are regenerating if given the proper tools. Which takes us to the true cause of dis-ease, of sickness, of issues that are manifested from the body, and that is poor lifestyle and diet, mainly diet. Genetics, mainly diet. Our families, like have been eating so bad for so long, so many generations. It has built these dispositions, these issues that we all deal with as a species. That's why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. And our only answer for it, based on the medical system, and this is all from the Flexner report in the early 1900s. This is where it all started, in my opinion. And I can't say it all started there because, we've been eating so bad for so many generations. But the system that we've been born into is really not doing much to help the issue because they don't really correlate bad health with nutrition. And that is a major problem because the true cause of disease going on right now is the diet. And once we understand that, two things happen. We can stop disease from manifesting, but we can also regenerate our bodies and regenerate our species from a generational standpoint. Meaning, if I was born with weak kidneys, but I start making the right choices and I start regenerating my body, then when I have children, which I do have children. Unfortunately, I had my children prior to me making these changes, and I'm sure some of you, and I'm sure you guys have dealt with something similar. You regenerate your body so generations going forward can be in a better place, a better disposition. But we've just been going downhill for generations upon generations. And I call those generational curses. And we have to fix that. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm trying to implore to everybody what the true cause of dis-ease is. And there's obviously, there's over 26,000 different diagnoses that have been created by the medical system. And a majority of them are the same thing in different places of the body. Most of them share similar symptoms. And I'm not saying that these things don't exist for a reason. I understand why they do. But we have to understand that as people. And you have to understand that so you can get your power back. I'm telling you that you have the power to heal yourself, given the right conditions. So what is the diet, right? You're new to my channel? Look. You got to eat the food that the body was intended to eat, that was created to eat. We are frugivores by nature. That means optimal diet for our body to operate in the correct way is to eat fruits, leafy greens, some nuts, some seeds. That is the diet that our body has been built to eat, meaning that when we eat anything outside of that, we are causing burden on the body. We are taking energy away from the body and trying to deal with this. And we are also causing disease type conditions. So I'm not on here to say, hey, you need to go frugivore tomorrow or you're going to get sick and die. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in order for our bodies to regenerate, in order for our bodies to have enough energy to continue the healing process of decades and decades and generations of bad eating habits that have caused all these disease type conditions, this is the diet we need to look towards. I call it the gold standard, meaning whatever your diet is today, you have to move it towards the optimal diet as much as you can. Implement as much fruit and these leafy greens into your diet so you can start reversing these things, whatever it may be. When we're talking about colds and mucus, right? You got to look to mucus forming foods. Mucosa is a response by the body when we eat certain things that shouldn't be eaten, when we eat bad chemistry, to break it down even easier. When we're eating dairy, huge mucosa response. You could test it yourself. Go without dairy for a week. Watch how clear you feel. And then start eating some dairy and watch how quickly you get stuffed. Because dairy is acid forming within the body. There's only two sides of chemistry here, acid and alkaline. So when you're eating dairy, your body responds by creating mucus to protect the vital organs within the body, so this acid forming food does not deteriorate it. Acids are destructive, corrosive. So that mucus helps protect. Well, guess what? Once that dairy's gone, once your body is at rest, it's going to take that mucus and have to get rid of it, because mucus itself is not good for the body. It's only there to protect in those specific times, right? Your body does whatever it can for the betterment of it at the moment. But once that moment is gone, okay, now we got to get rid of the mucus. When we don't, it accumulates, and now we have a serious mucus problem within the body. And this goes for any acid-forming food. I'd pick dairy because dairy is just one of the biggest acid-forming foods that are out, and more people probably eat dairy than anything. And the next one, we talk about is meat. Similar type of issues. Meat causes disease-like conditions within the body. The body is going to react to that because it is consuming something that is not meant for it. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So when you make your choices on what you're eating, understand that. When we're talking about health, when we're talking about getting healthy, if we're talking about curing stuff, what you put into your body is most important. How different is that from how we were brought up and the medical system that's put in place? Just look at the food they give you when you go to the hospital. You deal with whatever, whether it was surgery, whether you were dealing with some type of illness, whatever case it may be, your body was going through some type of experience. And what type of food do they feed you afterwards? That will tell you all you need to know about the correlation of how they look at health and nutrition and diet. And when we understand that our body is self-healing, if given the right conditions, then it's imperative that we understand what those right conditions are. And those right conditions are providing it the energy and through the foods that we are eating that were specifically designed for our bodies. And those foods are our fruits and our leafy greens, our nuts and our seeds, like I talked about before. When you look to nature, when you look at how we align with nature, when you look at the animal kingdom, we align mostly with the apes and gorillas. And if you look at their diets, what are they predominantly? They are frugivores. We are frugivores by nature. So the true cause of disease is manifested from within. The true cause of disease is bad diet, is eating foods that are not built for the human body, that have accumulated and caused destruction for generations upon generations. So we're starting from the moment we're born, we're already in a deficit because of our ancestors, because of our mother and the terrain that we were that we were conceived inside of, or that we were formed inside of, it all matters. But when we are born, from that moment on, regardless of what our disposition is, like, we can help reverse that. We could change that. But we got to start eating the right stuff. We got to start giving our bodies the right fuel. We have to provide our bodies the most energy and efficient energy we can. I talk about energy efficiency all the time. Eat high energy, high electromagnetic energy foods that cause the least amount of burden. What's the biggest burden on the body? Digestion. Digestion, bar none. So we want to eat the foods that are easiest to digest. Nothing digests quicker than fruit. Nothing. And leafy greens right behind it. And also, nothing provides the most electromagnetic energy than fruits and leafy greens. So high energy foods, low burden, means what? Excess energy. What does more energy for the body mean? A lot more healing, a lot more curing, and helping us get to our most optimal state. So, break that conditioning of thinking that everything outside of us is causing us to get sick. Things out of our hands are causing us to deal with disease. It's not. It's in your hands. You have the power. You have the power. You are powerful. You are an extremely powerful being, and you can help fix. Now, does that mean that you're gonna cure everything? Look, we're all we're all in different positions in our lives. We all have a certain amount of vital energy left, right? There is an ending, right? Everything lives, everything dies. But give yourself the best opportunity. And living the lifestyle that you're living right now is not going to cut it. It's not going to do it, because you are racing. You're in a foot race with, your feet tied together. You're boxing with two arms, tied behind your back. It ain't going to happen. You have to give your body the best ability to do what it does. And that means to get out the way. And by getting out of the way, that means getting rid of all the obstructions that are stopping your body from healing itself. Those obstructions are consuming bad chemistry, eating bad food, eating stuff that is not built for the human body to consume. All right? And in essence, you're giving yourself a chance, and that's what's important, right? So remember that. You feel your body getting a fever, it's getting a fever for a reason. You feel your body with excess mucus and you're just tired of sneezing and all the runny nose and stuff, let it run its course, okay? You don't feel hungry, you're sick, and you don't feel like eating anything, well, guess what that means? Don't eat anything. You're dealing with inflammation, well, guess what? Inflammation is your body healing tissue that has been damaged. So if you stop the inflammation, yeah, it won't hurt. But guess what? That tissue never got healed. So now you got damaged tissue. Let your body do what it does. Take away the disease building conditions and watch how quick your life changes. Bar none. Look, if this resonates with you, if you understand, if you're getting what I'm telling you right now, hit that subscribe button so you can get some more information. I got a lot more I want to share with all of you when it comes to health and natural health and diet and things of that nature. And I got a plethora of different videos that can help you get on the path of eating better foods. So yeah, subscribe if that resonates. Make sure you hit that notifications button so you know when I drop new stuff. And if this video personally resonates with you, give me a thumbs up. All right. And share. I'd love to hear what you're going through. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and ideas. Even if you disagree with me, I love that as well. That's how we grow as people, by sharing thoughts and ideas. All right. So you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, and light to you all. I'm out of here.